So last week I was on stage in front of about 200 people, and one of the questions came up about DM outreach. Obviously, I'm one of the sell by chat guys. We just trademarked sell by chat is actually trademarked to our business now. And one of the people in the audience raised their hand and they said, "Hey, Sean, what are the benefits to using cold outreach?" So in this video, I'm going to share 7 benefits of using cold outreach. Let's go. What's up, FlowChat Connector? Sean back at you with another high-tech tune-up. Make sure and smash that like button. Share this out to somebody that might need to get better at sales, outreach, just winning in the game when it comes to social. And of course, if you find some value in this video, please, please, please smash the subscribe button. We are growing, we're getting better, but it takes a village to create a movement, and I'm just grateful that you're here with me today. Okay, so we're going to dive into 7 benefits to cold outreach. And a lot of people are like, Sean, what does even cold outreach mean? I'm specifically talking about direct message outreach. Okay, I'm not talking about any other type. And the reason I share that is because there's lots of types of outreach. Direct messaging outreach is one of the critical key components. So let's get into it, right? If you recall one of my last sessions, I went through the 4 methods of communication. Here's a snapshot again, just so you can see it in case you didn't know. Calls, texts, emails, and DMs are 4 of the main methods of communication in today's age. Snail mail or direct mail is another one. There's a couple of other ones, but these are the 4 that majority of people use. So I figured it'd be relevant to kind of cover these. And you can see some of the answer rates to buy rates or open rates to click-throughs to buy rates. And what you find here is DMs are superior. And when I was speaking on stage, I talked about why DMs are superior. They might not have as high an open rate as text messages because they have the unreads or the filter boxes, but it's very close. You can see the click-through rate is more than almost double what text click-through rates are. And the reason for that is because when you get a DM from somebody, you get the hit in your pocket on your phone. So, obviously the serotonin comes through, but then you're thinking to yourself, well, who the heck is this? And instead of just stopping there, what you can do is you can click on their profile and then go creep on their social platform and figure out if they're a real person, they're not a bot, their message is pure, they have a good value system. And then at that stage, you come back to that DM and you respond. So this is why the click-through rates on DMs are always much, much higher, because they have this second layer of redundancy where you can actually creep and look and figure out the person before you even respond to them, right? And this also leads to a very much increased buy rate because you can build know, like, and trust very quickly from just having a social platform. So now you see that the numbers speak. Now, these numbers aren't just from me. They're from places like SalesBrain, Cognism, Neil Patel talks about this, and of course, personal testing. We never share anything that we haven't personally tested. That's just a motto we've had for a long time. So this solves a problem for us. We still do it each and every day. And our main method of business growth is direct DMs. So this topic, 7 secrets of why outreach is superior, is very valuable. Let's get into it. Number 1, you don't need to make as much content. In fact, for the first 2 years, Chris, my business partner, and I, there's actually 3 founders of FlowChat. So Chris and myself, he's the CEO visionary. I'm the CMO marketing guy, and I'm goofy guy on camera, right? And then Bruno is our CTO. Well, Chris and I spent the first year, actually years, even before the FlowChat business, because we've built multiple businesses together. And for the first several years of those businesses, we didn't do hardly any content. In fact, we didn't even have a landing page. We didn't have any of this. So all we had was the ability to communicate and the ability to do cold outreach. And so the first benefit to using cold outreach is you don't need content. Now, you might need, obviously, content helps. I'm not saying it's an either or, I'm saying it's an and. But fit it in where you need to go through best. If you're a small or mid-sized business and you're looking to get started and moving, or I guess solopreneur to small business, and you don't have a lot of time to put content out there, instead of making content and hoping for that organic play to come in your direction, the better way to do it is to find the group of people that you need to sell to or want to sell to and spend time with, and then start messaging them instead. And if you put your time towards this, You'll close deals faster, pound for pound. It'll give you a much better return than almost anything on the planet. And then, of course, you'll figure out what to say. And then now you can go build content that has the right stuff in it. And of course, you can build ads from there on. But remember, you're only one message away. And what's nice about cold outreach is you only have to design and build one really solid message. And then you might have to tweak it a little bit as you go. But you only have to build one thing instead of building content piece after content piece. It can get a little bit struggling. Secondly, there's no ad fatigue or what they call banner blindness. Banner blindness is if you show up on someone's profile and you see the banner. I've seen this a million times. I don't want to see it anymore. Stop showing me this. And then you click the button and then that person gets some bad feedback into the algorithm and then their account gets throttled. And or the ad fatigue, right? When you submit an ad, you still have to build that piece of content, put it on your business page if you're on Facebook, and then you have to put it through the ad system and then it'll go show, you give money to the platform. The platform will then show that piece of content as an ad in front of all the other people. Well, over time, right, depending on your market, that ad, if it continues, it'll work, right? And it'll work for, if you get one to work really well, that's fantastic and it works great. But then over time, as people see that over and over and over and over and over, people get fatigued. They get worn out of seeing that ad and they just say, stop showing me this ad. In messages, this doesn't happen. And lastly, you don't need to be a marketing genius. You just need to be a human connecting with another human, right? You don't have to have some sort of whiz bang like ninja chop move. It's rather just ask people questions about the problem that you solve. See if they have that problem. If they do, get into a deeper conversation. And if you realize that you have the right solution, it's in your best interest and their best interest for them to move forward with you and your program and product and service. This is reason number one. And most people hear this and they're like, whoa, Sean, this is so crazy, like enlightening. And it should be, right? So again, number one. Let's go to number two. Number two, competition stays in the dark. Your competition is in the dark if you're using cold outreach as a main source. What do I mean? Everything is private. They can see maybe one or two messages. They can see a little, like if the big ship is coming in from outer space, you could see the exterior of the ship, but you're really wondering like, what the hell's going on in the cockpit? What's going on behind? Like, where are the little planes going to come out? I'm in the dark. I don't know what's happening, right? So everything is private when you use a cold outreach method versus when you're publicly broadcasting through like ads and content and that kind of a thing. You can operate in secrecy, right? You don't ever have to tell them, I've got this secret super warship over here that's going to pop out and do some things that nobody ever even heard about before. No, you can keep that behind. You can keep things close to your vest, playing cards, right? You never want to give away your hand. And you can continue to operate in secrecy saying, oh, I got two aces right here. I'm not going to drop those unless I really, really need them as a trump card. And so this allows you this other layer to just kind of keep things up your sleeve, so to speak. And then, of course, there's no education about how you acquire because people will say, I wonder how they're actually finding new clients. How is this company growing? I don't see their like a lot of the time when Chris and I first started building one of our businesses, our high ticket agency, one of the things that we were doing all the time, people will come up to them and be like, dang, how do you always just have clients? And these clients are incredible. Like they're amazing clients. I don't see any publications about you. You're nowhere, anywhere on social. What's going on? We just do outreach. And outreach has grown our business to the tens of millions in every case. So it's like, yeah, you don't have to educate anybody about how you acquire. And once you have that systematic way working, your competition stays in the dark the whole time, right? So if you like to run that play and like keep things close to your sleeve, this method of building a business, I think, is superior. Number three, it's incredibly reliable. Most people get into the DM outreach game and they're like, damn, this is a lot of work. But nobody can argue that it doesn't work, right? It's extremely reliable. And to get more, just do more, right? This is that hustle culture. Like I always have had a problem with people talking about hustle your face off, publish your face off, do that kind of thing. And the reason I've had such a struggle with that is because when you post content, the result, the ROI, the return on your investment of time, energy, and money with content is so small, it burns people out. I burned out. I've been down that rat pathway, and I'm sure you listening to this might have burned out before too. But remember, if you're focused on hustle culture with the right thing, if you're doing outreach and connecting with potential prospects every single day. In fact, there was a study that just came out and said, if you're a small business, you're just getting started, you should spend 80% of your day, every day, working to find new clients. 80% of your time. That's a big number. And if you're focused on that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to grow. Now, if you spend 80% of your time posting content and then 20% of your time doing all the other operations and saying, oh, my content will bring me clients, you're going to suffer from a lack of clients. Promise, it'll happen, right? But the idea here is outreach is extremely reliable. You just got to get more. To get more, you just got to do more. And you can reverse engineer the entire process. Here's what I mean. Example, let's say for every 100 DMs you send to a customer, you get one customer. So for every 100 message conversations you get into, you get one customer. Now, this is a low number, but I'm just being very conservative here. If you want 100 customers, you need to send 10,000 DMs. Okay? Very simple math. You can work out the numbers. And of course, if you acquire more than this from the 100 DMs, in fact, we do, for every 100 DMs, I believe it comes around like between 4 and 9 customers that we get. That's on app. That's us. And other people I've seen, even better than that. But for this example, let's say for every 100 DM conversations you start, you get one client. In order to get 100 customers, you need 10,000 DMs. That's 333 DMs per day. One person can kind of usually max out around 100 DM conversations. At least that's what my setting team does. I have setters that reach out and have at least 100 conversations every single day. So one person can do 111. So if you had 3 people doing 111 conversations a day, that's 333 DMs per day conversations, which will lead to 100 clients a month. And now we know the formula. And again, to get more, just do more, add another person, add another profile, do that sort of a thing, right? It becomes extremely reliable like clockwork. In fact, if you're interested, reach out to us. We have a lead magnet, or something that I can share with you. Is it shows you how to reverse engineer the exact formula based on some predicated standard guidelines from outreach. Really, really powerful. Man, you're probably having explosions in your head. And we're only on number 3. Let's move to number 4. Love this one. Is algorithm immune. What does that mean? Well, private communication is rarely subject to any of the platform changes. And in fact, places like Twitter, now X, Meta, which would be Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, are all pouring millions of dollars into development of communication that's private. Instagram just launched something called channels. Meta is just launched something where you can build 5 personal profiles, right? Twitter and X, they just put in encrypted end-to-end messaging. They're putting a paywall in there. They have video and audio that they're continuously developing, and they're all putting money into the DM side of the game because they know that's where the attention is. And when I spoke on stage last week, it was 7 out of 10 big businesses value messaging as extremely important, and only 50% of small businesses are doing it. So if you're a small business, you might be missing out on this if you're not doing this, right? So private communication is rarely subject to platform change. It's not likely to change in the future. In fact, before I even came into the online space, I used direct cold outreach to build all of my businesses. So I got really versed in that. And it's been very similar for the past almost 30 years. Platform specific doesn't matter. And it will work again across all the different types of platforms because they don't have as much visibility, I think is the right word to say, when you're in the messages. And so this is why it's algorithm immune, right? It doesn't play to, if you post content, this is the thing, right? Next one, less pain around compliance, right? You don't have to play by all the actual rules. And what I mean by this is you can make claims in the DMs. You can send a before and after picture with, if you sell health and weight loss, you can absolutely send a private message, a DM with, hey, these are some of the results I've gotten. Check this out. Fat person, skinny person, skinny person, or whatever it is that you're trying to market. And they don't have the compliance in the messaging because it's private. Right? Doesn't matter what industry you're in. In fact, if you're in tobacco, firearms, cannabis, MLM, like all this other stuff, it doesn't matter if you're using cold outreach and DMs to grow your business because it's private, right? Now, if you were to take one of those industries and try to do things like paid ads, you're going to get smacked. They don't allow that stuff because they're trying to keep a good image and whatever else for around their compliance. So just kind of remember that cold outreach is that one piece that can get around most of the difficult industries. And as long as you're FTC, Federal Trade Commission compliant, then you're in the game. And that's what it is, right? So obviously always for good, never for evil. Don't bend or break the rules because you will get caught eventually. But as long as you're compliant, you're in the game, okay? Number 6, if you have no spokesperson, meaning you don't have somebody as the face of the brand pushing out content each and every day, things like Frank Kern, Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, if those people had to go away from that brand, it's not going to be as a powerful brand, and it's probably not going to be a sellable business, right? And the nice piece about using outreach or cold outreach is it won't stop getting customers if that face happened to leave. See, if you had an entire system of a team that was making those outreaches each and every day on behalf of the organization and the brand, I mean, obviously you can talk about the face of the brand, but if the face happened to not be there, it's not going to slow down the machine from consistently helping you to scale your biz. And when you have something like that, it creates a higher multiple for your business, and it makes your business more valuable. And the nice piece is you can build a never-ending system and team combination that will allow you to consistently grow without you being in the picture. A lot of smaller business owners and solopreneurs say, oh, I'm the face of the brand, I got to be out there. In some cases, that's the way you decided to market and brand. Then that's terrific. But that always ties you back to that business. So if you are trying to build a business in which you want to exit or sell it one day, just keep this in mind, is like if you could build a system with a team where you weren't part of that, you would win, right? This is how a lot of people do it. Last but not least, we have this. It's extremely hard to duplicate or copy an outreach system. What do I mean by that? Well, many of the steps are invisible. Remember I said earlier, you can keep your competition in the dark, right? Most people can't see all of the steps, all of the if-thens, all of the how the conversations work, how the outreach is going. How do you collect leads? Maybe they don't know that, or maybe you give away that piece, right? And then it's like, well, how do you personalize messages? This is another piece that people are like, what do I say to the person, right? If you have upsells or downsells in the process based on the conversations that you're having, right? If you have the entire infrastructure set and you walk through the client's journey or the prospect's journey to becoming a client, eventually you're going to know what your system has to offer. And then when your clients are seeing this, they're going to have no idea. They're just going to go through it as an experience, and that is going to give you the result that you want. And no competitor can actually copy that unless they go through the entire thing, get on the inside, and then you open up the Rolodex or you open up the magic coat, say, here's all my gold watches. This is exactly how it works. You have that right to never, ever do that, right? So it's very hard to copy. Next, they need to hire on board to train a team to replicate it. So if you get to the place where you're not doing it and you put team and system in there, they're going to be like, well, man, first of all, I can't even see what you've done. Second of all, like, how do I build the team to actually do that? These are things that they're not going to be able to accomplish. Just something to remember as you're doing that. And the other pieces is compounds with time. It gets better and better over time. Last thing I'll share with you here before I've got one free give is cold outreach can be difficult. It usually takes longer and more time, energy, and effort than people really expect or realize. And in today's age, we have shorter attention spans. So I will preface this whole thing by saying, if you are going to go down the path of cold outreach, practice patience, because once you get it running, you'll never want to turn it off. The way I tell our clients is I say, it's kind of like a light switch in your business. Once that thing's on, just let it rip. Don't turn it off. Don't stop, because it'll keep ripping for you forever. And that's the nice piece. And most people are like, all right, Sean, I'm down with the DMs. I don't even just know what to say. So as a free give, just at the end of the session, I wanted to give you the exact DM scripts we use to create 2 million in revenue. So if you want the exact DM scripts that we use to create 2 million in revenue, go to this website right here. It's just scripts.flowchat.com. And it's going to ask you to put in your information, and we'll email this document out to you so you have this. And it goes through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So it doesn't matter what platform you're using. And these are conversations that we went through. There was 350,000 of them that we diluted down to a 79-page Google document that has the exact messaging that either closed a deal or booked a call for us, that you can just read through and just start stealing and using some of that copy. We want you, like Picasso says, good artists steal, or good artists copy, but great artists steal. We don't want you to copy the exact messaging. We want you to steal the framework and put it into your own words. And with that said, you've just been tuned up today. I hope that one was hyper valuable for it. I know a lot of people that see this, they're like, Sean, this is crazy good value. Yes, absolutely it is. So again, thank you for being on our channel. Don't forget to smash that like button, share this out to somebody that may be having struggles or doubts about DMs and cold outreach in the sales game. This will be a very valuable video of why outreach. And if you're trying to convince somebody in your organization, share this video with them, right? That's the idea. And of course, if you found value throughout this and you're like, wow, Sean, that's valuable. I drop these things about twice a week. Just make sure and hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications and your bells on. And until we catch you on the next one, which I'm excited to share, I'll talk to you then. Bye for now. Happy selling.